Due to the interference of unknown cosmic rays, some plants and animals on Earth have evolved into new organisms, and humans call them ghost beasts. Our protagonist is Lee Winan, 18 years old. To treat the illness affecting his sister's leg, he abandoned his studies and his dream of becoming a beast master and became a low-level ghost miner. While he was out, he heard on the big screen that the TV program had invited Miss Kelly, one of the strongest class beast teachers in the world, to explain a topic that caught Wenji Wan's attention. She stated that most ghost beasts needed the same attribute, the type of fin, to evolve, but that some special ghost beasts also had other means to evolve. The TV host asked for more information about it. She shared that some special beasts can complete their evolution by absorbing special emotion. Wengen did not finish the program and left. Some of the ghost beasts had taken over jobs that previously belonged to humans, and humans who can't control the beasts have to do lower-level jobs to survive. Those are the ghost miners. Ghost miners enter the secret realm of ghost beasts and dig for different mineral attributes in the secret realm. Although the ore used to enhance the beast was very valuable, the wages of those ghost miners were very low, and it can't be avoided because the ghost beasts not only work harder than humans, but they are also even prettier than. When passed by a stand whose owner was a red fox, he ordered 2 meat buns. Unexpectedly, someone noticed him. The middle-aged man gave him food from the new ghost restaurant, called this person Uncle Wong, and thanked. The other people who saw him were not happy to see him. They think that with his small body, he can hardly move a few pieces of ore at a time, and in the end, he still earns the same amount of money as they do. To them, it was unfair. Bengen understood why they were not satisfied, but he hoped they would calm down a bit. Won scolded them and told them that Wen was still young, and that if it were not for his sister, he would have become a beast tamer a long time ago. Wen told him that it was true his physical condition was not very good, but he promised to work harder and move a few more pieces of ore. Uncle Dewey insists that those kids are the ones who are wrong. Someone arrived while they were arguing and, from what it looked like, made him think they were ready to enter the secret realm to mine. The man was wearing a sleeveless suit. He had defined muscles and dark hair down to his shoulder. He looked at his watch and asked them if anyone needed to get ready, because if not, they would enter the secret realm. His magic swirled around his hand and his eyes glowed yellow, and the portal in front of him opened. He started to go through it, then looked back at the other, and they followed. Wenzone was determined to move more ore this time, so the others would stop gossiping about it. They asked him how they would divide the work, and if the old way would work. They suggested pairing Wang with Wang, since he was looking after him anyway. Wang knew they had decided to give Wang a hard time. Wang stopped him and accepted his decision. He apologized for causing him trouble. For Wang it was nothing. He just encouraged him to work hard. An hour later, Wang Sanswang was already tired, but he was determined not to stop Wang, no matter how tired he was. Suddenly, they heard someone scream. They wondered what was happening. They ran toward the source of the sound. One of the miners reported that the man in the suit killed someone. A wolf had bitten a man and he had died. The man in the suit was quiet, but he looked at them. Wang Swan and Wang were shocked. One of the miners told this man this ghost beast had gone crazy since it bit someone to death. They urged him to take care of it quickly and stop standing there dazed. Another man shouted to call an ambulance. The man told them not to worry, because he would let his nightmare wolf kill them all too. The wolf lunged at the wolf, attacked them, and they screamed for help, while the others ran away. Wang Swan stood there stunned as an idea came. He remembered the interview he had seen, where the guest explained that some ghost beasts can evolve and become stronger by devouring negative human emotions like anger, despair. She warned the audience that if they encountered such ghosts in the wild, they should be very careful. Wen told them not to run and to gather together. He urged them not to panic, otherwise that would make the nightmare wolf even stronger. The beast master wanted them to panic so that the nightmare wolf would evolve, which is why he encouraged them not to panic. Everyone stopped as they heard him say could defeat the nightmare wolf. The beast master did not expect someone as fragile as him to have such a clear mind. He admitted that, just as Huangin said, the nightmare wolf of dark attribute needs to devour the negative emotions of its death to evolve. He gave them 2 options. One was to listen to that brat, join him, and fight against their nightmare wolf. They would see if they could subdue the nightmare wolf before it killed them, or they killed each other, so the nightmare wolf could absorb enough energy to evolve. The miners looked at each other. Wen knew they should not let themselves fooled by him. He had to find a way to calm everyone down, otherwise they would kill each other. He knows something. It was the tattoo on the man's bicep. It was the tattoo of the criminal organization of phantom beasts called Adogun, which made the man a criminal. The beast master gave them 5 seconds to think and started the countdown. Wenwan shouted at them to calm down and not to believe the beast master, because he was not a good person at all. But before he could finish what he was saying, he felt a sharp pain, coughed up blood, and then looked at them in anger. To his surprise, it was Juan who hit. He asked Juan why he was trembling while explaining that he did not want to die. He told him that he had taken care of him before, so at least he should die for him, especially considering he had a wife and kids at home. While Huang had nothing, he screamed that he did not want to fight a nightmare wolf, because it was impossible for a human to defeat a phantom beast, so he just wanted him to die for him and his family. When cursed him, he was about to hit him until he saw something out of the corner of his eye. Another miner had hit him with. He fell to the ground. Our boy called them bastards, but those miners were taller than them, while the others fought among themselves. The Beastmaster was pleased, encouraging his nightmare wolf to absorb the emotions and evolve. It was total chaos. The Beastmaster did not expect the energy they generated by killing each other to be greater than the energy he generated killing them. He was really satisfied. A few minutes later, some miners were exhausted, while others were dead. Wang thought they had already survived. One miner looked at Wenson's corpse and asked what they should do. He looked at Wenson's face and fell silent. Then he kicked him toward the water and replied that they would just tell the others they had suffered a mining accident. They planned and agreed on their state before leaving the cave. Meanwhile, Wenan was sinking to the bottom of the water, barely conscious, worried about Oyen if she died, because no one would take care of her. She hoped he would come home that day, and that is why she wanted to live. She also wanted to take revenge on that bastard Hang Hyango Wei, the Lord of Beasts. It was filled with betrayal, hatred, and rage. It was such a strong desire for revenge that someone thought it would use him. Unexpected, a ghost beast in entrusts him with power in the hope that he will be the one to bring total destruction to the world that enslaves. The black fog was absorbed by his body. A small ripple formed in the water until the hand rose. Our protagonist had returned and was gasping for air. He frowned. Seeing that the bastards had left, he emerged from the water along with a pink feline creature. Then he coughed. When he regained consciousness, he realized the wound had disappeared. Looking at the creature in front of him, he wondered if that unconscious strawberry cat was the one who had saved. But as far as he knew, strawberry cats did not have healing ability. Suddenly, a screen appeared in front of him. It looked like a game interface and notified him that the beast evolution system had been activated. He was given the mission to sign a ghost beast contract. The strawberry cat. He had to read it because it could mean he could become a beast master, and he needed to do so to take revenge on those bastards. He looked at the strawberry cat. He had no idea why the strawberry cat had appeared, but since it was there, he took the opportunity to turn it into his phantom beast. When he touched it, it whimpered. He did not expect to be awake. It jumped when it saw him. He took a martial arts stance while meowing as if he were imitating Fozaman. Wang tried to explain that he meant no harm, and that he was actually the one who had rescued them from the bottom of the lake. The strawberry cat had punched. It had a look of satisfaction on its face when it saw him fall. Wen Xuan got angry with him. When it saw him get up, it took a fighting stance again. Meanwhile, at the portal exit, after suffering some scratches, Wen Xuan walked through with the unconscious strawberry cat in his arms. Someone noticed the portal and went to see who was coming out, but he did not want them to know he was still alive, so he hid while spying on who had arrived. It was the foreman and a member of the mining team, but when they arrived, they were baffled to find no one there. They decided to leave because it was impossible for anyone to still be alive. They talked about how unfortunate it was for Wang to lose so many good friends. They felt sorry for him when they saw him running out, shouting at the top of his lungs to rush in and save, but Liu stopped him. Besides, the best master had also disappeared, but they were not worried anymore since it had been 5 hours since the mine disaster, and it was impossible for anyone to be alive. Wengen was very angry because if it had not been for the traitor Huang, so many people would not have died. He swore to make him pay for it. Came out of his hiding spot and noticed something along the way. A woman saw him. She asked him where he had been when her house caught fire. They had called for help, and the firefighters would arrive soon. They had not seen Su Wenan running in while shouting Si's name. They tried to stop, but he went into the burning building anyway. He knocked on the door, shouting, "Is she in there?" He kept banging on the door until he heard her. She told him to wait for her. He inserted the key and tried to open it, but the door would not budge. He kept trying until he broke the doorknob, lost his balance, and fell to the ground. Called for her, but unfortunately, the door remained closed. He was surprised until he realized he had only pulled the knob off. This made him panic. He kept kicking the door to open it. Sean told him to leave it there, but he refused to do so. Desperate, he shouted for help. He was desperate while the strawberry cat lay on the ground behind him. Suddenly, the strawberry cat had absorbed the energy of anger and was about to wake up. When the countdown reached 1, it opened its eyes and assumed a combat stance. It aimed at the door and charged at it. It struck the door and successfully opened it, revealing someone in a wheelchair surrounded by flame. The bright light from the fire made Bengwen look up from the ground. The strawberry cat had a satisfied look on its face. They're doing its job. While Huang was left used about what had happened, the scene then shifts to the meadow where the teenagers gathered. One of them was bragging about having captured a fire fox, while another had captured an ice dog. The other wanted to try his luck and see if there was any wind-type phantom beast, while Huang stood quietly to the side wishing to find a phantom beast as soon as possible and become a beast master. This way he could prevent his sister from getting into danger again. 12 hours ago, his sister was hugging the strawberry cat. While they talked about what had happened to her, she suggested calling the police, but he refused because it was easier for him to deal with that bastard Hang on his own. But once Wang found out that he was still alive, he knew for sure that he would come back and kill him. Promised he would not put her in danger again. Those people looked at him and mocked him for signing a contract with the strawberry cat. They thought it was ridiculous that he used the only 2 available slots for junior beast masters on a strawberry cat. But Wenin did not care because he was puzzled by why those phantom beasts were weak. For example, Firehorn Bull has fire attributes that will evolve into a flame bull. It was at level 10 out of 10, strength 45 out of 6, agility 18 out of 40, intelligence 22 out of 40, and had a strong attribute fire but was weak against ice. There was also an ice dog whose next evolution was the Ice Hound. It was at level 8 out of 25, and its strength was 13 out of 6. Its agility was 2,470. Its intelligence was 940. Its strong attribute was ice, and it was weak against fire. It had a special feature called vulnerability, which increased damage from injuries by 10%. It loved playing with water, and water attacks increased by 10%. There was also an adorable rat that would evolve into a sweet rabbit. It had a level 6 out of 25, a strength of 11 out of 6, an agility of 33 out of 81, an intelligence of 15 out of 6. It had a strong attribute against grass and was weak against fire. It had a special feature called resist, which reduced damage by 5%. Wing Swan wondered if there was really something wrong with the strawberry cat, because when he looked at its stat, its next evolution was unknown. Level 5 out of 30, with strength of 15 out of 30, agility of 22 out of, and intelligence of 5 out of 10. It also has no strong or weak attribute, but it had a special feature called Celestial Emperor, which increased movement speed by 15% and attack speed by 10%. There is also the Wise Marshal, who increases damage dealt by 30%. Another feature was indestructible. Damage dealt was reduced by 30%. Then there is Legacy, which increases speed by 15% and damage dealt by 10%. This made him wonder if those features really belonged to a strawberry cat. Suddenly, someone came running for help because of a level 2 ghost beast in the forest. They asked him if he was sure, because the first area was the habitat of lower level ghost beast, so there should not be a level 2 one. Some of them took the opportunity to catch this level 2 ghost beast and rise above other junior beast tamers. They asked him what ghost beast it was. Blonde Boy replied that it was so fast he could only see its residual image. He thought it was a level 2 lightning cat. Everyone was surprised to hear that and started moving to catch it. Win did not want to get involved. He did not want to relive the same experience. He called the strawberry cat so they could catch some ghost beast, but it just growled at him and eating. He got angry. He realized he needed to find a beast that would obey him. First, he grabbed the strawberry cat and told it to stop eating, get back to work. But then it started running back, so he scolded it because even though it was a low-level ghost beast realm, it was still very dangerous. The strawberry cat just clicked its tongue. This annoyed Wengen, who thought that strawberry cat deserved a beating. He got distracted when he saw some cobweb and was surprised by what he saw in front of it. It was a cat, and a candy spider jumped on, but it crawled away to dodge it. Candy Spider evolves into Candy Spider King and was at level 8 out of 15. It has a strength 14 out of 30, agility of 18 out of 40, intelligence of 22 out of 40, and strong attributes against grass but weak against fire. It has a special attribute called Fear, which increases the damage dealt by 10%. He realized something was wrong because this creature usually has a gentle temperament. He wondered what had provoked. He thought maybe he had stumbled upon something on the way, but when he saw the strawberry cat mocking the caramel spider, he realized it was the culprit. The caramel spider hissed loudly while the strawberry cat making fun of her. She lunged at them. The strawberry cat also attacked. Wang thinks the cat was foolish to take on an 8th level caramel spider when it was only level 5. The spider spat out web and wrapped cat in them. Wenan learned the hard way because no beast tamer wants a strawberry cat. The caramel spider pulled the cat toward her until Wenan grabbed the cat and ran away. He ran as fast as he could, but the caramel spider was right on his tail. She spat webs and Wengen jumped high, spreading his legs to avoid getting caught in them. But he thought something was off. In fact, he jumped to the edge of a cliff. He screamed loudly as they fell. The caramel spider reached the edge and hissed loudly until it was hit with water. She was startled, but could not do anything because she was paralyzed. A curly-haired blonde boy stepped forward, walked to the edge, and looked down. A few moments later, Wengen crashed onto the riverbank. He thought he would have died, but he was only unconscious and in pain. He heard a loud meow and discovered he was sitting on the strawberry cat. He immediately took it out and checked to see if it was okay. He looked around and realized they must have fallen to the bottom of the valley. In the west slope forest, it was getting dark and the strawberry cat hit a sheep. The sheep was supposed to be a very docile ghost animal, but all the creatures he had seen that day were so aggressive that he wondered they really deserved. But when he looked at the strawberry cat, even he felt the urge to hit it. Then he realized something. The sheep was already unconscious, but still in a rage. He knew that was not right, so he thought the problem was not with the ghost beast, but that something was wrong in the valley. He knew he had to get out of there before the strawberry cat got into trouble too. He ordered it to follow him to the exit so they could leave quick, but it ignored him and turned away. The cat's attitude made him wonder if it was just effect. Then it started to walk away. He shouted for it to listen to, as the place was dangerous. He could see a cabin nearby. Our protagonist was surprised to discover there were human structures there. He asked the strawberry cat if it had brought him there on purpose, but he noticed something. He wondered what the red smoke was. Suddenly, a loud noise was heard. He wondered what that terrifying sound was. The strawberry cat made a noise, and he understood it wanted him to come in. He agreed, but not before grabbing a stick to use as a weapon. They opened the door. He covered his mouth due to the unbearable stench. His eyes went wide when he saw what was inside. There were cages inside. A whimper caught his attention. It was a poor dog in distress. He wondered how it had ended up so badly injured. He asked the strawberry cat if it could break the lock. It hit the cage, and seeing it had followed his order, it was glad to finally be used. Petted the ice dog and asked if it would move. He wondered who, in their right mind, would do something so cruel. He checked the ice dog's stat. He saw it was suffering unbearable pain from being severely injured, bleeding, and poisoned. Its attribute was ice. It could not evolve, and its basic stats showed a level of 11 out of 30, strength 9 out of 30, agility 12 out of 30, intelligence 11 out of 40. It was strong against ice and weak against fire. It only had the most basic healing potion, but he hoped it would work. The ice dog got scared, and he assured him that he was only there to help. He made him drink the potion. After that, he looked around and saw that all the ghost beasts there had been brutally tortured. He realized that someone must have been conducting horrific experiments. Thought about the evil organization. Unexpected, the ice dog tugged at his pants. He felt relieved to see that finally stand up. He realized that it wanted to take him somewhere, leading him outside to the basement door. Opened the door and was greeted by an even stronger. It looked like an experimentation lab. They went down the stairs. He looked around, wondering if they would build a separate underground facility. He thought there was something special there. A large red eye saw them, and sharp teeth appeared. It tried to attack the strawberry cat. Fortunately, Wenan saw it and was able to grab the cat. He looked back to see what it was. It was a bloodthirsty hound that was drooling, and at that moment, our guy knew he was in real trouble. Wen was surprised to see a Phase 2 ghost beast, a bloodthirsty hound. The bloodthirsty hound was furious, seriously injured, bleeding, and poisoned. It had a fire attribute, and its next evolution was an explosive dog. It was at level 32 out of 5 with a strength 2 out of 80, agility 38 out of 60, intelligence 15 out of 40. It was strong against fire and weak against ice. It had a rare attribute called brutality, which increases damage dealt by 5%, but also damage received by 10%. Another rare attribute was bloodlust, which converts 5% of the damage dealt into its own health. Then it realized something. It saw a guy chained up there. The ice dog jumped toward him. Wen in panic because it was dangerous. The bloodthirsty hound growled, but the ice dog kissed it. Wenjin could not believe it. Then the ice dog looked at him and started barking. He thinks it was calling. It told him that if it did not attack, they would close her. The ice dog told the bloodthirsty hound. It approached him and saw some books on the table. It was a diary of experiment. The diary from the first day of the experiment was there. The writer was happy to have new test subjects, and they were 2 extreme ice dogs, a mother and a pup. On the 9th day of the experiment, the researcher forced the larger extreme ice dog to devour the pieces of other phantom beasts to see its transformation. On the 15th, the subject became difficult to handle. His will was so strong that it was repulsive, but after hitting his puppy in front of her, finally enraged. On the 20th day of the experiment, the researcher could not believe he was still alive, but it was perfect because he could see the mother turn into a bloodthirsty hound and then force her to devour her own child. He hoped that would provoke an unexpected change in her. The situation infuriated Wen Xuan. She had no idea what what kind of monster would do something like that. He assured the bloodthirsty hound that he would get him out of there. He ordered the strawberry cat to break the chain, while he took off the collar. The strawberry cat grabbed a hammer and got ready to obey. He struck the chain hard, while Wenyuan could not believe he actually followed through, but he did not pay much attention since the priority was to get the bloodthirsty hound out. He tried to unscrew the collar, but it was difficult. He finally managed to do it, claimed that if it were not for his years of work in the mine, he would not have had the stamina to do it. Both he and the strawberry cat looked exhausted. The ice dog clung to him. He assured him that he was just taking a short break and would go back to rescue his mother. Only one chain remained, but suddenly the bloodthirsty hound attacked him, catching him by surprise. Then he heard human voices. He decided to hide first with a strawberry cat. Then he ordered the bloodthirsty hound to wrap the chain around its body so the human would not suspect anything. A man was pushed down the stair. The man begged not to be killed in exchange for not saying anything. Wang recognized that it was the ghost beast tamer they had found at the entrance of the secret forest. He was intrigued to know how he had ended up there. The man was trembling with fear. The blonde had the ice dog in his hand while telling him to calm down because he only tortured the ghost beast. He recalled that it was the blonde who said there were second phase ghost beasts. This led him to conclude that the laboratory belonged to him. The blonde asked him if he did not wonder why the normally docile extreme ice dog had attacked. The scared man asked him if he had done something to it. He revealed that he had spread a large amount of bloody rose pollen in the forest. This caused the ghost beasts of the sea forest to enter a state of fury and kill each other. When remembered the red smoke floating outside, then the blonde man pointed a small crossbow at frightened man and told him to die in. Frightened man kept begging and reasoned that if he did not return, police would come back to investigate. He was terrified. However, the blonde man was not worried about that, as in the secret region the death of a beast tamer was so common that no one cared. He claimed they would be the perfect food for his ghost beast. It was madness. Wen knew he had to seek help. He whispered to the bloodthirsty hound that he would get his son out of there and come back reinforced. But in the meantime, he needed it to distract the man, so he started growling. The blonde boy told him to be quiet, especially after he had just bought him food, but he kept doing it. He realized how energetic he was and knew it was because he was killing people in front of him. Meanwhile, Wen Xuan was trying to sneak away, but to his surprise, something blocked his path. He wondered how the wall had appeared. Out of nowhere, he saw a flying ghost beast and realized there was a guard. It was a second phase ice ghost beast, a demonic ice flower. The blonde man was glad to have captured the intruder. Wenan was left bewildered. The man ordered the ice demon flower to freeze his leg, and it did it. Wenan was trapped. Then the blonde man fired his small cross. Wenan hugged the ice dog tightly to protect it as he prepared for the attack, but something broke the arrow. He was puzzled when he saw it had not hit him. It was the bloodthirsty hound. Growled at the blonde man. The blonde man was bewildered by how it had managed to escape. He thought about the collar being taken from it. He got angry and shouted that the rabid dog would kill them all. Winnow replied that it was not safe. He told the bloodthirsty hound that its chance for revenge had come. Growled fiercely. The blonde man ordered the ice demon flower to stop. It tried to bite him, but he ran as fast as he could. While that was happening, Wen Xuan realized the ice was fading along with the consciousness of the ice demon flower. Blonde man released the other phantom beast to finish off the rabid dog. They all came out, but before they could attack, the bloodthirsty hound had already struck them, bit them as it saw the other phantom beast scared, but the blonde man pressured them to attack, or else they would die. The snake and the cat, like phantom beasts, were forced to attack. They bit different parts of the bloodthirsty hound while the blonde man fled, but Wenan and the strawberry cat blocked his path. The strawberry cat meowed fiercely and then punched him in the back. The man fell and saw his arrogant gaze telling him he should be afraid. Wen told him not to expect to escape. After doing something like that, the blonde man backed up to the wall while explaining that he was not going to run away. He approached a switch. Wenwan saw him and yelled at the strawberry cat to stop, but the blonde man told him he was the idiot and that he was the one who should run away. And at the same time, this villain managed to press a button meant these situations. He released the red smoke. The icy dog's eyes turned red. Weng was alarmed because that would send all the phantom beasts into a frenzy. The bloodthirsty hound and its opponents were also affected. Wenson was so angry with this man that he grabbed him by the neck and shouted that not only would the phantom beasts die, but he would die too. But this blonde man smiled and told him he was not as stupid as he was. A cage fell on him, separating him from Weng Xuan, making him believe that the only ones who would die would be them. When Saiwan looked bloodthirsty hound, worried because he was already unstable and the smoke sent him into a frenzy. He ate the creature that looked like a cat that attacked him. He witnessed it and his instinct told him to run away before the strawberry cat and ice dog lost control too. He was almost at the stair, but suddenly his feet froze. He did not expect the demonic ice flower to still be alive. The bloodthirsty hound went crazy. Wengen could only brace himself for the imminent attack. The ice dog barked soft. This caught the attention of the bloodthirsty hound. It attacked the ice covering Wengen's feet. Weng believes he recognized his son even after inhaling so much pollen. The strawberry cat jumped from Wengen's arm, struck a cute combat pose while in the air, and then launched a powerful attack called Absolute Void, God of Mouth. Fist. It reached other parts of the lab and caused a strong explosion. The attack even broke through the ceiling and left a thick smoke. The blonde man trembled with fear and disbelief. Weng Xuan approached him and told him he was next. The blonde man trembled with fear as he admitted he was wrong. He begged for forgiveness and promised he would not do it again. Besides, he offered all his ghost beasts and let him go. Huang Xuan reminded him that those tamers and ghost beasts also begged for their lives, and he responded to them that way. This made the man panic, and he reasoned that it killed him. There would be no way for Joan to escape, and they would catch him and lock him up. He was right about that, but he reminded him that in dangerous territory, it was normal for one or two beast tamers to die. That angered the man. He shouted loudly, but before he could finish what he was saying, Wen Xuan ordered the bloodthirsty hound to attack. He screamed loudly as he was attacked, and Wenyuan left him there. Wenyuan told the strawberry cat that they could leave. To his surprise, the bloodthirsty hound tugged at his shirt and asked what he was. Then he saw the ice dog. He asked if the bloodthirsty hound wanted him to take care of his son when he checked on his condition. This bloodthirsty hound was already on the brink of death, and there was no healing method available. Wengen accepted the request and promised to take care of him until he grew up. The bloodhound watched them leave with a sad expression on his face until he fell and reached the end of his life. The next day, Wenzen walked out the door with the ice dog in his arm. He wondered how he form a contract with those two ghostly beasts. He tried all the methods he found online, but none worked. But seeing the expression on the ice dog, he decided to think about it next time. Since the ice dog was already exhausted, he checked the materials needed for its evolution. 3 ice crystal, 10 frozen herb, and 1 evolution crystal were needed. It was not too difficult for him to gather those materials for the evolution, but he realized his cat was strained. The materials for its evolution were 99 crystal, 99 fire cloud crystal, 99 lightning crystal, and 1 evolution crystal. He knew it was just some kind of visual error. He left the ice dog on the trunk of a tree to rest. The strawberry cat was also resting beside him. He felt relieved to see that the ice dog only needed 1 crystal. The conversation of some nearby caught his attention. They were talking about how there had been many deaths in the mine lately. The other person replied that it was nothing unusual, and even in the secret territory, many beast tamers were dying. Upon hearing about the mine, Wenin thought of his experience. He asked those men to tell him in detail what was happening. Those men told him that inside the mine, a wolf had gone crazy, chasing and killing, and that this was by order of a certain person. It was the same beast tamer that Wengwen had entered the mine with. The man was glad he had not killed a certain miner, because that person was a very obedient dog. He was referring to Wang. Wang served him faithfully, had already helped the beast tamer kill more than 10 miners, and that is why his nightmare wolf was about to evolve again. Claimed it was the least he could do. Then, the beast tamer gave him a phantom beast as a reward for his performance. Wang was happy that this was his opportunity to become a beast tamer as well. The beast tamer supported him in that and assured him that the organization never mistreats those who contribute. Hang bowed and thanked him. After that, the beast tamer ordered him to take care of the miner's body, and that in the coming days, they would bring more people. And the next day, in the forest mine, Hango approached a man in a hoodie. He approached him without even turning to him. Wengen realized it was Huang. Hang realized that his clothes were new, introduced himself as the foreman of the mining team, and told him to work hard. Wengen thanked him. Suddenly, someone called them. The girl with pigtails scolded Wengzhen for disrespecting leader Wang. When asked her who she was, she told him her name was Chen Li. She announced that she was going to the mine with him. Deep down, Wenin thought she was crazy and found it strange that the mining team hired kids. Wen replied that the miners could not go down into the mine. The girl shouted that she was an adult. Wen got their attention and gathered. Chen seemed nervous. She was thinking about how it was the mine where so many people had died and wanted to uncover the truth behind the accident and clear her name in front of the team. While Wenin thought that it was the first time he had seen her, he became curious to know if she had been to the mine before, because her nervousness was very evident. She opened the door and told them that they were ready. They entered the place that Wang knew very well while observing Wang. He hoped it would not be like he imagined. Wang showed everyone a fire cloud mineral that they were about to extract. He instructed them to divide into groups, at least 2 per team. He advised them that if any accidents happened while they were working, they should ask for help immediately. Everyone found their part. No one approached Chen and she felt bad. Wengen noticed her. Then he asked her to form teams and she had no one to go with. She felt embarrassed and denied that she had no team. Then she told him that it seemed like he was the only one alone. In response, he told her that if she did not want to, he would ask someone else. Then he walked away, but she pulled on his shirt and told him that since he looked pathetic, she would help him as long as he did not make her look bad. He looked at her and asked, was her first time in the mine. She admitted it was, but assured him that she was physically strong, clarified that he had not said it was because of that. He just wanted to warn her not to get too close to Wang. She asked him if he knew any. He dismissed it as just a piece of advice and told her it was up to her whether to follow it or not. Later, placed a crystal in a cart. She was more exhausted than she could imagine. Wenin told her that she had already worked a lot and suggested she rest, but everyone was surprised when they heard a loud scream. She wondered what had happened. Although Wenin had this to happen, they ran as fast as they could and were shocked to see what they saw. It was a huge mineral crystal. Everyone got excited. Everyone thought they were going to get rich. One of them shouted that he would take most. When they divided the money, they celebrated, and he promised to invite everyone once they were done. But deep down, Wang thought the stones were his. He was glad the beast tamer had not shown up because he was gathering evolution material. Otherwise, the huge crystal would have ended up in the beast tamer's hand. He thought that if he killed the mineral, he could be stronger than that beast tamer. Lu wanted to confirm with the one who, according to the rule, would get 60%, then 10% would go to the mining association, and the rest would be split among everyone. Wang's expression turned sour, but he immediately hid it behind a smile as he replied, and suddenly he pulled out a knife and slit Liu's throat. Blood gushed out, and Huang stood over the corpse. The miners who saw it turned pale. They were confused and scared. Wang declared that the crystal was his, and showed them his knife, just in case anyone opposed the idea. Benson was angry. Now that Wang had stopped acting like a human, he could not blame him for what he did. Someone called him. Wang was surprised. He wondered how the police had infiltrated. Chen was pointing a gun at and ordered him to drop his weapon. The miners were glad the police were there. Wang dropped his weapon, caught him off guard since he did not expect her to have a gun. Then, Chen ordered the miners to immediately tend to the injured and call an ambulance. He did not think she was a cop, and that completely surprised. She asked him if he really thought he could do all those things without anyone noticing. Wengen felt that something was wrong. He knew Wang would not give up so easily. Wang raised his hand, but he mocked him. Then Wu Wenwen realized something, so he immediately told Chen to step aside. Something had hit her from below. Her face was bleeding from the scratch, and she lost her balance. To her surprise, suddenly she could not move her body, and then she saw the phantom beast in front of her. It was called Venomous CM. Its attribute was dark. Its next evolution stage was Poison King. It was at level 3 3 out of 25 with a strength 15 out of 60, agility of 12 out of 70, intelligence of 18 out of 60, and was strong against dark and weak against light. He laughed at her for underestimating him and told her he had it all planned out. He grabbed the hand that held the gun, told her that, since she liked playing undercover, he would make her disappear without a trace. She yelled to the others to run, but warned them to stop, because if anyone moved, he would kill them on the spot. He told them that if they killed the officer, they could get out alive. She shouted that they should not believe him, because there were only 3 bullets left in the magazine, so he could not kill them all, and if anyone managed to escape and call for back, she was sure they would arrest. Wong told them not to be naive. He looked for the first idiot, put a bullet in his head, then he warned them that other humans would do the same to them as he had done. They would end up killing each other to save themselves, because that is human nature. He did not expect to hit him in the face. Winsubin simply punched him and he fell to the ground. Then Winsubin took off his mask and said, "Long time no see." He asked if he still remembered. Wong was surprised to find out that Wang was still alive. Our guy asked him if he suspected it. He admitted that he had planned to burn his sister alive, but the next day there was no news of any fire, so he assumed she had survived. He admitted it was hard beat. He had already stabbed him 3 times and the miners had beaten him, but he still managed to cling to life. The miners were worried about what to do, because even the police could not protect themselves. When they discovered there was a police officer, they thought they were saved, but it turned out to be false hope. Wong reminded them that they only had to kill the police officer and they could get out alive. They realized he was forcing them to become his accomplice. Wong insisted that since they were all in the same boat, he had no reason to kill them. The miners felt they had no other option. They grabbed their weapon, and Wenyuan assured them that whatever they did would be their decision. They were all determined and caught Wenguan by surprise, even Huang, because they protected Wenguan and confronted Huang, shouting that they were not cowardly enough to kill a girl who had not even reached adulthood just to save their own skin. They ordered Wenguan to take the girl and flee immediately. The adults were willing to take responsibility for them. Wang Xuan was stunned, while Wang got even angrier, called them fool, and aimed his weapon at them. But something happened between the 2 miners, and he hit Huang's arm. The miners turned their heads back to see what it was. Hang was taken by surprise. It was the ice dog. I did not expect Wenin to be a beast tamer. When the miners saw him, they felt proud because he was still young and already a beast tamer. They also felt relieved because he had saved. But Huang got even angrier and looked at his phantom beast contempt. His right arm went numb. He ordered the venomous centipede to move forward and kill those bastards. It released gas, causing Wenzone to order his ice dog to block the poison. It unleashed a freezing breath and created a barrier wall. Posenstein's centipede got scared and jumped when the ice dog attacked. Then it smashed the ground and hit underground. They warned Wensaban to be careful. Wang let out an evil laugh. He then ordered Wensaban to kneel and beg, and maybe he would consider sparing his life. Wensuban replied that no matter how much Wang begged, he would never spare his life. Hang ordered his venomous centipede to kill the arrogant brat. He noticed something on the ground next to him, and suddenly the venomous centipede appeared. But something moved at lightning speed. It was the real strawberry cat, and it kicked the venomous centipede, flew across the mine and stayed still for quite a while. Wang could not believe what had just happened. Wenin claimed he would not let her get away. The ice dog and the strawberry cat stayed by her side. Hong was surprised to discover he had 2 phantom beasts. Wengan grabbed a pickaxe and aimed it at Wang, but Chen stopped him. He told him he could never kill anyone, and that if he did, he could never go back. She wanted him to leave it to her and assured him that he would get the punishment he deserved. She knocked him to the ground. Wenin told him to get up because he could not breathe. It was curious how the strawberry cat watched them with a satisfied and wise expression on its face. The miners were happy as they were finally safe, but some felt bad for losing all those minerals. She handcuffed Wang and took him to the station. When she saw Wenin leaving, she yelled for him to come with her and tell her everything. Then she ordered everyone to get out. Unexpected ground shook. Huang told them that the walls had been damaged by previous imps, so they would collapse at any moment. He shouted for everyone to run. The miners ran as fast as they could. They panicked. Chen was in trouble because he could barely move his body and had no strength. A large boulder was about to fall on her. Fortunately, our protagonist was able to grab her in time. Then he ordered his ghost beast to take her out of there, and that he would catch up with her in a moment. He told her to leave immediately while he went to get Wang for her, but as he ran, a large part of the cave collapsed and blocked the way behind him. Chen worried about it, but he shouted that he would have to find another way out. He got trapped with Hang, who laughed at the situation. Wang told him he deserved it. He mocked him for trying so hard to defeat him, and in the end would die there with him as a companion in the grave. When Subin told him again he would never forgive him and that he had not killed him or out of pity, but because there were too many witnesses. That is why he had stayed there on purpose. Hang was alarmed and asked what he meant by that. He replied that he meant he would kill him, pulled out the gun and aimed it at Wenin, asked him if the recent mining accident that had occurred lately were his doing. He wanted to know why he had done it. Wang claimed he was forced to because if he did not help them kill people, they would expose his murder. He asked the person he was referring to was the beast tamer from the mine that day. He replied yes and offered that if he did not kill him, he would help him set a trap. But Huang replied that it was not necessary and that he just wanted him to go to hell. He shot at the ceiling and large debris fell. Huang knew he was doomed and crashed right where he was. He got trapped under the debris. Wing Xuan remarked that he only knew how to ask for help when it was his time to die. Then he called him trash. Purple mist came out of Huang's body and escaped through the crack. Meanwhile, outside the cave, the strawberry cat, the ice dog, Chen, and the rest of the miners were worried because the exit was blocked. Chen told them to digging because when Xuan and Hang were still inside, the strawberry cat and the ice dog looked worried and tried to lift debris larger than themselves until the strawberry cat saw the purple mist coming out through the crack and the mist wrapped around him and he fell. The miners saw that he had fainted, so they took him to a place where he could breathe better. They wished he could rest a bit and assured him they would get his owner out. During the night in a hospital, Wenin woke up startled with his heart racing, and then he realized he was in a hospital and his ghostly beasts were sleeping deeply beside. Seeing them, he realized how lucky he was that they were there. Otherwise, he would have been buried along with Hang. Someone walked in the door and asked him if she was the doctor. The beautiful woman introduced introduced herself as the vice president of Beast Tamers Association. That surprised Wang Chuan. He asked her if her name used to be Beezy. She replied that it was. He asked her if she was there for a reason. She answered that it was obvious it was because of those two ghost beasts. They investigated and discovered that he did not have a beast tamer license and was not registered with the association. Therefore, according to the rule, those ghost beasts had to be confiscated. Panic, because if he lost them, he would be defenseless. But while he was trying to explain himself, she interrupted him, saying she had a proposal for him. They would give him the chance to obtain a beast tamer license, and if he passed the exam, then he asked what would happen if he did not pass. She replied that he just had to keep trying until he succeeded. He asked Vice President Val why she was giving him that opportunity. She told him that the miners had told her that during the collapse, his beasts did everything they clear the blocked cave. He did not understand, so he asked, and she explained that those beasts were unusual because all beasts harbor hostility towards humans. It was just a matter of degree, and only when a tamer signs a contract with a beast can they cooperate and benefit each other. In other words, without a contract, phantom beasts have no reason to help humans on their own. That is why I was curious to know how he had managed to get those two beasts to save him without having a contract. Bunnen realized he had no reason to reject the opportunity she was offering. She liked that he was smart. It was a quality of a beast tamer, but he knew a more accurate description was lab rat. She lets him think whatever he wants. He asked her when the exam was. She advised him to call her once he had recovered. Then he asked her if the miners were okay. She told him he would know the answer soon, but warned him would be very noisy. Suddenly, someone at the door was surprised to see him awake. It was Chen and the nurse. Chen's loud voice resonated in the room, asking him if he was okay. The nurse told him not to shout. Now he understood what meant by there being a lot of noise. At that moment, Basie was already outside the window riding her flying phantom beast. She waved goodbye, and since he seemed distracted, Chen grabbed his head and shouted that he was talking to him. He wondered if he had hit his head or something. It was curious that he was thinking about passing out again. The sun was high in the sky when the interaction took place inside a skyscraper. A woman entered where the president was Balissi, and handed him the list of candidates who would participate in that year's Beast Tamers certification exam. He looked at the papers and asked her if it was about the exceptionally talented boy she had mentioned. Basie replied that yes, and that she had already informed the boy of the exam time. The president jokingly suggested that since there was no one else there, she should relax a bit, but she refused and reminded him that she had to maintain a serious attitude during working hours. Praised the documents and saw something that made him stop mid-sentence. He was talking about seeing who the real genius was between the two. Boy she had told him about, or the woman in the file. Suddenly, his phone rang. It was a call from the lab, and he did not like receiving it. The person on the other end of the line asked if he had any news about the whereabouts of the experimental subject. He replied that no, and reiterated that he would call them as soon as he had news. He knew that in the end, they would find him. Bissy asked him if he needed help searching for the escape test subject. He replied that it would not be necessary because he wanted to handle that kind of dangerous problem himself. Meanwhile, people had gathered outside the building. They were hoping to get through. Wang also arrived. Suddenly, two men called out. They were Lao Gao and Lali. They were happy to see each other. They seemed very close, judging by how playful they were with each other. Dao asked where he had gone after graduating. They called his home, and his sister told them he was working in the mine. Lu reminded him that three of them had promised to become beast tamers together. He thought Wenin had given up on his dream. Wenin told him that an unexpected situation had come up, and he suddenly needed money. Lu replied that he understood he did not want to bother others, but he was going too far. That made him feel like they were strangers to him. Wenyuan clarified that it was not like that, and that the situation was a pump. Then they saw the strawberry cat and the extreme ice dog. They asked him if they were hit, and if he was already a beast tamer. His answer was both no and yes. Gao wanted to clarify that he meant those two were always with him. He replied that yes, but admitted that for some reason he could not form a contract. They doubted that it was really possible. Lu suggested that it could be because he had bought low-quality material, or that a dishonest merchant had sold him something defective. He knew that was not the case, given that his bank account barely had any funds. While they were talking, an announcement was made. The Beast Tamer certification exam was about to start, and all candidates were instructed to enter the venue orderly their admission card. Yu and Gao were very excited. Once in the classroom, the examiner informed them that the exam consisted of 3 tests. The first was the basic knowledge test, in which she would present several magical beasts, and they had to write down everything they knew about. The more detailed the report, the higher their score would be. The second was the contract test, where they could use their own beast or buy one there to try to form a contract. They passed. They succeeded. And the last test was the combat, where they would control their beast and fight against other participants. Those who won 3 battles would advance. Those who pass all 3 tests receive their beginner beast tamer certification and enjoy certificate. They started the exam. The boxes were open, and the ghost beasts appeared. It is like getting your first Pokemon. They were asked to write their answer based on their knowledge of those 3 magical beasts. The examinees' plain questions were very difficult. Last year there were not questions like that, but Wang Sawan had the system, so he provided the details. For him, it was like an open book exam. He looked at his friend, hoping they were doing okay, but seeing the expressions on their faces, he knew they had already given up. He whispered to copy his answer, and they both felt encouraged right away. They commented that they were true brothers. 2 hours later, the results of the first exam were announced. The examiner would call out the names of those who would continue. If their names were not mentioned, they could try again next year. She called out Sang Sango, Lai Ba, Wang Bo, Liuo, Gao Cheng. Gao and Lu celebrated that they had passed. They thought Benguin would do it too. They joked that they could become his adopted kid. Other students who passed were listed Jin, J, Office, Hala, La Danja, and Jua. Wenzone was confused because they had not called him. The 2 men behind him were also puzzled because he had done so well that it was impossible for Wen Suan not to pass. He was worried that there was some issue in the system, especially when La Gao and La Liu passed. He asked them if they had copied their answers exact. They replied that they had not copied them exact. They had intentionally altered some parts so that they would not be identical and knew the basics. Wenin assumed that the correct answers had been changed. Suddenly, the exam examiner announced there were two people who had scored perfect scores. They were none other than our presenter Liwen Xuan and another woman named Sa in the cafeteria. The examinees talked about the guy who had scored a perfect score on the exam. Gao and Lu realized that Wenguan had become the center of attention. It was no surprise because he is practically a genius. Wenin responded indifferently that it was just luck. Dao replied that luck was also a skill. Lu teased him for his unnecessary humility. Unexpected. Someone approached him. It was Kelsa, and that bitch walked in and suddenly introduced herself. He remembered she was the other person who had gotten a score, just like him, and he asked her what was going on. She had to remind him of his place, pointing out that even though they both got perfect scores, she had scored 100 because that was all the content on the test. Unlike him, who had gotten that score because it was the only thing he could understand. He felt offended by what she said and was ready to fight her for disrespecting his older brother and provoking him. She told him to get lost. He knew they had cheated and threatened to report it. Lu got scared and backed away. Wenin saw his phantom beast. It was the ice python with pattern number 32, which has the ice attribute. Its next evolution stage was the ice python. It was at level 25 out of 30, 55 out of 60 in strength, 55 out of 70 in agility, 60 out of 60 in intelligence, and a strong ice attribute with a weak fire attribute. It has an anomaly called mind corruption. Wengen also had something to tell him. He told him that his phantom beast had some anomalies and suggested he run a system check before signing the contract. She thinks he is just trying to annoy her. She replied that she knew her phantom beast's condition like the back of her hand. Besides, she accused him of only knowing how to use dirty tricks, threatened to humiliate them, and since they were in the duel, he advised her to pray a lot. She retreated to her room. Once the door was closed, she let out a deep sigh and encouraged herself, telling herself that she would not lose to that guy. He called his ghost beast Jennifer and Petsar, while telling them they had to give their best, not realizing the difference in Janaf's eye. That afternoon, the second part of the test began. The examiner announced contract signing between Han and the rat Popo had been a success. The boy was very happy. Go commented that the second exam was practically an extra round. Lu agreed because no idiot would bring a ghost beast that ignored them. Bengen was facing that dilemma. He looked at the strawberry cat and wished it would not mess up. The strawberry cat looked at him indifferent. The examiner called him. Gao and Lu cheered him on as he walked front. They stopped in front of the examiner. The success of the exam was now in the hands of the strawberry cat. It began. The magic circle appeared beneath the strawberry cat, and it got scared. It meowed loudly and made the ground tremble. Zhao and Li were surprised and confused, while Wen Xuan had already expected. The other examinees laughed at him. They had never met anyone who had failed that part of the exam. Wenin would undoubtedly go down in history. The examiner asked he wanted to continue with another beast. He replied that he would continue like this. Even though the success rate with the ice hound was clearly higher, he wanted to take advantage of the opportunity presented by the high-level contract formation Beast Tamers Association. He was determined to form a contract. The examiner told him to try again. The strawberry cat resisted, even grabbing his face. He tried several times, but still could not form the contract. The other examinees found it very funny. They could not believe there was someone with whom even a strawberry cat would not want to form a contract, and they could not help comment that the drama was top-notch. That moment, he was already exhausted. Kelsa pointed out that she had only gotten a perfect score by luck. Then she told him to step aside while she showed what a true genius was. She asked the examiner to let her start forming the contract. The examiner could only sigh and allow it. The magical circle appeared beneath. His chest was glowing, while Janniford's forehead was also shining, until Jafe became violent and screeched loud, which caught her by surprise. Jennifer went crazy. The gust of wind hit everyone. Even the examiner was surprised. Wang Zuan grabbed her to dodge the attack, and they fell to the ground. He got mad at that stupid woman because he had already told her to get it checked. The test subjects started to flee because the phantom beast went crazy, while Kels ran towards Jennifer, but Wengen grabbed her arm to stop her since her phantom beast was extremely dangerous at that moment. She let go of his arm and told him that Janniford would never hurt anyone. She called her, but she looked at her with a gloomy expression, urged her to calm down. Janniford approached her and felt relieved, not expecting her to attack. She crashed against the building. As she got up, she approached her again, noisily. Then she opened her mouth wide. She could not believe that Jennifer had done that. She wondered if she was going to die there. A memory came to her mind. Back then, she was a little girl. Parents told her to learn from her older brother, but she did not want to. Her parents praised her brother and wanted her to be like him. It annoyed her that they only talked about what her brother could do, and for her, taming a ghost beast was not a big achievement. She believed she could do it too, even better than him. She worked the ice python hard and pushed it to its limit. Even though it was already exhausted, she kept training it to be faster. It was not her intention to do that, and she felt really bad. She knew Janniford hated her. That is why she prepared for the attack. The strawberry cat intervened and hit Janniford, then Wenin shouted at her to get out of there. She was immediately surprised that he was still there. Janif whistled loudly again. Wenin ordered the strawberry cat to be careful, especially on the ground. He made it crouch and dodge. Also was intrigued by how they were doing it. They had not formed a contract yet. He had no idea why Strawarcat was following his order. He ordered him to hit his weak spot and punch him in the stomach. They continued fighting. The examiner was watching close. Someone called her. Two teachers came to her aid. She called Wenguan and thanked him for buying them some time. She told him they could leave the rest. The teachers would take care of finishing off the ice python. They immediately assured Kelsa that they would bring her another phantom beast. Later, she begged them not to kill her. She argued that her phantom beast was not always like and believed there had to be another way. But the teacher thought it was impossible to subdue that state of fury. Vex Johan shouted at them that if they could not save, they should get lost. He told them that the phantom beast was suffering extreme pain, but they treated her like a broken tool and only thought about getting rid of her. He asked them if they really considered her a living being, promised so that he would do everything in his power to stop. The teacher called him a brat, saying he had not even signed a contract with a ghost beast, and that he found it hard to believe he was saying that nonsense. But he believed the strawberry cat also wanted to save that ghost beast. He told him that if he felt the same way he did, he should not resist the contract. The strawberry cat looked at, and then a golden. Bright light enveloped them both. The strawberry cat willingly stayed there. The teachers were surprised that he could form a contract under those circumstances. When the smoke cleared, it revealed a determined strawberry cat ready for battle. Our boy was about to beat this snake in a Bruce Lee style. The ice pattern python attacked. The strawberry cat countered power hunt. Inside the office, I asked what had happened exactly. The teacher explained that Kelson's ghost beast went crazy during the signing of the contract. The specific details were in the report, but the cause was still under investigation. Then he asked how it had been handled. In the end, he replied that it was Wang Xuan, who was behind him, who ordered his ghost beast to defeat the ice pattern python in a crazed manner. He also asked if Kels was okay, and he replied that he was. He wondered why the ghost beast of Kelson had gone mad. Suddenly, he thought it was related to the runaway ghost beast. He told the man he could leave, but not once, since she still needed to talk to him. The man understood, as the boy had the chance to speak vice president and had a promising future, and if he had known, he would not have offended him. The vice president called Huang San and approached him. She admitted that he always managed to surprise her. Given the skills he had shown during the exam, she thought giving him a junior beast tamer certificate seemed a bit insufficient. He replied that he had just been lucky, but she told him there was no need to be modest. He knew that staying calm and solving difficulties in such sudden and chaotic situations was not something that could be achieved by mere luck. He was planning to grant him the highest qualification certificate he could award with his authority, and to go further, he would have to take the exam elsewhere. This surprised him. His eyes sparkled when he received the certificate. She believed that with his skill, it would not take long for him to consider taking the superior beast tamer exam, and now that he was an official beast tamer, he had an important mission ahead of him. Meanwhile, in another building, objects were being smashed. The men were destroying everything in the place so that no trace would be left. They were in a bind since Kelsey's ghost beast was not dead. If they had known, they would have used poison instead. The man was also wondering who exactly the beast tamer of the strawberry cat was. He was impressed that he was able to subdue an ice python with patterns that had gone wild. If he had known earlier, he would not have gotten himself into that mess. One of his men informed him that everything that could be smashed had been smashed. Pulled back after that, but someone called out to them and told them not to rush to leave. They did not realize that someone had managed to sneak. They asked him who he was. One of them ordered that they stop wasting time talking to him, pointed his weapon at him while shouting that he would not leave any survivor. They shot at him, but the man stood there. To their surprise, the bullet deflected. This made them wonder if he was really human. One of them lunged at him with a metal pipe. Instead, the man moved and grabbed the metal pipe and whispered they had the wrong answer. He called his phantom beast and made it attack the man. The others were terrified to see that he had a shadow, a ghostly beast. They knelt before him and begged him to forgive them. He forgave them, promised to obey him. He interrogated them about who had given the order, but the man hesitated to answer, because if he did, they would surely kill him. The man adjusted his gloves, while saying that they were all going to die anyway, so he would not force them. They thanked him, but he revealed that he was good at getting answers from the dead. He called his phantom beast Burrito to start, and Burrito responded with a loud roar. Everyone got scared and decided to talk, but they did not save themselves. They screamed until they died, leaving the man standing in front of their corpses. Placed his hand on one of the men's head, checked their memory, closed his eyes and saw a phantom beast about to escape. Then there was a man arguing with all the others, and the last memory showed someone ordering them to cause trouble during the beast tamer exam. He was a blonde man, which is how he found the culprit. Meanwhile, in the office, Wing Xuan told the vice president that the mission was a bit too difficult for him. She assured him that since he had already reached the intermediate beast tamer rank, it was time to tell him some things that only intermediate beast tamers could know. He felt curious about it. She revealed that in the past, everyone dreamed of getting rich, but in the current world, everyone dreamed of being a beast tamer. She asked him if he knew the reason. He replied that it was because beast tamers had status in ghost beast, which made them really cool. His superficial answer was not entirely correct. She told him it was because becoming an intermediate beast tamer meant that the rules of the ancient world no longer applied to him. For example, no matter how strong a human is, it is obvious they can withstand a bullet. Wenno asked if it was possible for intermediate beast tamer to withstand bullets. She answered that intermediate beast tamer, through some special means, could make their phantom beast take the damage for them. The soul bond was a secret art of beast taming that only intermediate tamers cultivate. Beast tamer would bond their soul with the soul of their phantom beast. During the duration of this secret technique, the damage suffered by the beast tamer would transfer to the phantom beast, and as long as one of the parties did not die, the other would not die either, regardless of the damage they received. A young man attracts attention with his large phantom beast from the other customers, but he did not seem happy. Someone approached him and asked if his phantom beast was okay. He handed the phantom beast to the boy, and he left with it while congratulating him for being suitable for dog walk and thanking him for his trust. The women, who had been impressed were disappointed to find out he was just a smelly college student walking dog. They even blamed him for acting arrogantly and behaving like he was special. The young man heard them and thought they were a bunch of losers. He did not mind walking dogs for beast trainers, especially when one job got him attention from two girls. In fact, felt really good about it. Then they saw someone they thought could also be a dog walker. They thought he was because at his age, it was impossible for him to be a real beast trainer. The young man realized the girls were talking about Wengen, who was walking alongside his strawberry cat. The young man's face darkened, and in his mind, he thought that guy could not be one of them. Thought a brilliant student from a top university like him would not even pass the beast trainer exam. If that guy really was a beast trainer, he would eat his Wengswan. Found a place to sit for a while. The young man approached him and asked how much he was paid for walking. Wenyuan was confused because he asked about walking a dog when it was obvious he had a cat. The young man became arrogant when Wenyuan did not understand him. He called him a rook. Then she explained to him that people like them who temporarily took care of ghost beast for beast tamers called dog walk. Wang thought she was offering him her services and replied that he did not need them and that he would look for her later when he needed help. The young man got annoyed because he acted like a real beast tamer. He admitted those were the tricks he used to use, but but he reasoned that everyone his age knew it was impossible to be a real beast tamer. So he told her to stop doing it. A luxury car caught his attention. It was Basie. She apologized for making him wait. She hoped that he, a worthy intermediate beast tamer, would not mind her delay. He told her to stop making fun of him. He got into the car and she gave him the details of the mission she had mentioned last time. She wanted him to take it home to read it carefully. Later, after that, she stepped on the gas. The young man watched them drive away. The women nearby could not believe he was really an intermediate beast tamer. The young man paled because he almost offended an intermediate beast tamer in the office building. She told him that the reason she personally brought him to the beast tamer training center was mainly because she feared they would give him a hard time on his first visit. That kind of problem did not used to happen. After all, the Beast Tamers Training Center was a branch of the Beast Tamers Association, but 3 years ago it was established to improve the overall strength of Beast Tamer. The association hired a senior Beast Tamer to be the director there, but they did not expect the man to have such a bad temper. The man was happy. He was willing to teach Beast Tamers of any rank, but if he was not, no matter how skilled the tamer was, he would kick them out. Wen was surprised that such a thing existed. He shared that over the last 6 months, they had personally taken the Beast Tamer, passed the exam to study there in hopes of slightly improving the passing rate. After all, the passing rate of the city's Beast Tamers had been the lowest every year since the senior Beast Tamer arrived, and the president had difficulty requesting a budget from headquarters. Because of this, Adoro, Kelsa came out and saw her. She apologized for making her wait. Kelsa saw Wenzin and could not believe he had passed too. Jennifer gave him a kiss on the cheek. He was happy to see that she had recovered so quickly that Elsa grabbed Jane for it and told him he was her enemy. Then she told Wengzuan that even though he had saved her, she would definitely surpass him someday. Wengwen did not care much. Vaisi told them to stop wasting time because they still had to go find Master Yi. A big, muscular man claimed probably got their certificate through the back door. Wengzuan asked what he meant by that. Pan replied that they had become Beast Tamer thanks to their connection. He added that nowadays people rely on connection. He challenged them to prove their skill. In contrast, Baisi told him that he had already seen the video and that it was Wenson who resolved Rice, but he was skeptical since the video could be edited. And he added that the most basic skill of a beast tamer was to subdue a runaway phantom beast. He told those kids that if they wanted to train, they had to pass the test, prove they did not get it because of their connection. He asked them if they would accept the test. Also was annoyed that he accused them of cheating. She pointed out that they had received the highest scores on the beast tamer exam and that he could not dictate that they could not do it. But he pointed out that he was the director of the Beast Tamer Training Institute and that if he said no, they would never participate in any real beast tamer mission in their lives. Wang Swan replied that he understood. He did not want to waste any more time, so he asked him to tell them what he wanted them to do. With that, Pan got furious. Then he told them to face a ghost beast, one that was bruised and limping. Elsa asked how the ghost beast had gotten so badly injured. She asked who the hell would do something so cruel to such an adorable ghost beast like the Fire Fox, and he responded that those who had done this to the Fire Fox were the masters of the beast. That surprised the two of them. He knew they were there to learn the secret art of beast tamer called the Soul Bond. He told them that once they learned this secret art, they would start sending their ghost beasts on various dangerous missions, and that they would also take damage their ghost beasts should have received themselves. When the ghost beasts reached their limit, the beast tamers would abandon them and replace them with stronger ones. So he asked them if they could face the severely injured Fire Fox. He knew it was extremely hostile towards humans, and even he found it hard to get close to it. He told them that if they did not have confidence, then they should go home and play house with their ghost beast. Wengwen noticed something strange about the Fire Fox. The window showed the status of number 003, Fire Fox, whose attribute was fire, and the next evolution stage was Fire Tail. I was at level 12 out of 10, with a strength of 45 out of 6, agility of 18 out of 40, and intelligence of 22 out of 40. His strong attribute was fire, and his weak attribute was ice. He had an abnormal status indicating he was severely injured, enraged, poisoned, and mutated. Wensaban understood the part about being poisoned, but had no idea what mutation meant. He called old Pan and asked him what he was feeding. Pan was surprised he knew he was being fed something. Our boy got upset and demanded he reveal it, otherwise Fax's life would be in danger. Pan stammered while responding that he was feeding him dragon fruit. He did not believe that would put its life in danger. Dragon fruit was commonly used to feed fire-type phantom beasts. For Wengwen, it was a mystery why the Fire Fox would have an opposite reaction. He asked if the injuries the Fire Fox sustained came from a type of ice. Pan was left speechless upon discovering that he knew that too. He then argued that he was aware the Fire Fox could not eat fire food right after being hurt by ice. Therefore, he waited for the ice damage to subside before feeding it. Wengwen knew it was true because the current abnormal state showed nothing related to the ice attribute, yet it still had a reaction. He thought it could be that the problem was in the state of poisoning. He considered that it was being attacked simultaneously by the ice and poison attribute. Under the interaction of the two attributes, poison in its body was still spreading with the ice attribute. That was new for Pan, because he had never encountered such a rare situation. But regardless of how rare it was, it still remained the most reasonable deduction. Moreover, since the poisoning state carries the ice attribute, it can lead to the abnormal state of rage, and that explains everything. He asked the system if there was any way to save him. The system showed him ingredients like 600 g of black maple fruit, 120 g of green bamboo pith, and 200 g of silver frost grass. The instructions were to crush 3 types of medicine, add water, steam them, and let the Fire Fox take while it is hot with a high-level frost crystal. This would allow the Fire Fox to super-evolve into a second-level phantom beast. The Ice Fox told them about the ingredients and said that if Pan wanted to save the Fire Fox, he had to prepare it. Pan wanted to confirm if he really had the means to cure the phantom beast. Gwen assured him that he would do everything possible to help Fire Fox survive. Once he had the ingredient, he started preparing it, and it seemed like he was cooking more than treating a patient. Kelsa suggested that it might be a food therapy. After chopping and mixing the ingredient, he finished, and the dish looked terrible. Pan doubted that it could really be eaten, as it looked more poisonous less than beneficial. Kelsa had to remind him that administering the wrong medicine would be deadly. They placed it in front of the firefox, but it did not eat it. Wen urged him to trust him. I had no other choice. Anyway, given his condition. An hour later the firefox was still vomiting. Han started to worry. Huang did not check several times if the ingredient and the process were correct, so there should not be any problem. Han was starting to get angry when a fire broke out behind him. He asked what was happening. When the fire went out, it revealed a creature. Something that Wenguan was waiting for encouraged the creature to embrace its new life by becoming an ice firefox. Han did not expect it to evolve. Wen congratulated her on her recovery. He started to think that as long as he had the system's help, could evolve any ghost beast into a higher form. He told Pan good job and asked if she had passed the test. Pan was stunned to think she was thinking about the test when she had done something incredible. The test should be the least of her concern. She had deduced the cause of the illness, created the antidote, and at the same time evolved the ghost beast. It is something that even high-ranking beast tamers struggle to achieve. He admitted he had judged her wrong, as she had passed the test. Naturally, he would teach her the secret art. However, he gave him a warning. He warned him that if he deliberately harmed the phantom beast just because he could heal them, he definitely would not forgive him. Wenin understood. Pan had nothing more to say. He was ready to teach him the secret technique. Then, Wang Xuan felt something strange. The ice fire fox tugged at his shirt. It asked him if he needed anything. They had a touching moment when the ice and fire fox licked Wenguan's face. Pan and Kels opened their eyes in surprise to see that he had tamed an ice fire fox. It was surprising that it took the initiative to approach human. Now that he saw everything was going well, Wenguan continued on his way, but felt sad. Surprisingly, Wenguan got hit on the head. Pan called him an idiot for not realizing that it wanted to go with. Wang Xuan explained to him that his financial situation did not allow him to raise it and that it would not be right to take it without permission of a previous trainer. Pan encouraged him to forget about that jerk. If it were not for him, the ice fire fox would not have been so seriously injured. He told him that he had already bastard out of the Beast Tamer Association, so he had nothing to worry about. Pan recognized Wenson's economic difficulties in raising both the ice fire fox and the strawberry cat, but he thinks it is easy to raise strawberry cat because you just have to feed them the work. Hearing the strawberry cat meowing angrily, Wenin admitted that he also had an ice hound at home, so it was really tough. Han dismisses the idea of ignoring the ghost beast's feeling. It was too cruel. He offered him a job helping to treat injured ghost beasts and would pay him for it. That made Wengen happy. Finally, night arrived. Baiki received a call from Director Liu and got a bit upset to find out that he had deviated from their agreement. She argues that no matter how talented Wenson and Kelso are, they should not be directly involved in military operations, and the army had said before that they would only observe from a distance. Director Yu told her to calm down and explained that the army had been forced to act this way. He explained that ever since the ghost beasts appeared in the world, the rules of the world had been turned upside down overnight, and that all countries, their own interests, were constantly capturing, training, and breeding powerful ghost beasts while they were still on top, which guaranteed their own safety. But the situation had become urgent. If others took the initiative, then they would not have much to say about what happened. They assured him that the army would do everything possible to ensure the students' safety. They also had to do what they needed to do. He had no choice but to accept. The next day, people with their ghost beasts gathered in an open area. Wenz arrived there and could not help think that those people truly deserved to be called the elite beast taming geniuses of the province. Each of them had 2 ghost beasts, and each was at least level 2 or higher. A military truck arrived. People were impressed to see the military vehicle. Someone commented that it was the first time they had ever seen something like that, as they had only seen it on television before. Someone got out of the vehicle. It was a blonde soldier. One of the men in the crowd commented the instructor did not look so impressive up close. They added that he only seemed a bit stronger than they were. They were confident and proud, as they considered themselves an elite group that had seen the world. The soldier approached them and frowned. They felt confused when their bodies began to tremble uncontrollably. Huang felt the intent to kill. He deduced that the man was testing his mental strength. The soldier saw him and smiled, realizing that this year's group was not completely useless. He caught the attention of the young beast tamer. First, he congratulated them for making it this far. Then he told them that their mission was to help the army subdue a powerful ghost beast, and that the strength of that ghost beast was at least level 3 or higher. So to prevent them from wetting their pants when they saw it, he would give them a short special training before the mission started. The arrogant men from before felt they were being underestimated. They claimed they were the elite who had come out victorious from the beast taming exam in their respective city. Since they were so confident in themselves, the soldier decided to start with them. They were ready to prove their strength. They released the ghost beast orb and their ghost beast. The venomous centipede and the fire-horned bull came out. The soldier called forth his golden lion. When it came out, it smashed the door of the military vehicle, roared fiercely. Then it continued attacking the fire-horned bull. After that, it subdued the venomous centipede. It faced the ghost beast tamer and roared loudly to intimidate. Those two could not believe their ghost beasts had been defeated in a single blow. The crowd was also stunned. Everything happened so fast that it was terrifying. But no one felt the same way, especially when he found out it was a level 3 golden lion. Phantom beast was the number 56 golden lion, and its attribute was thunder. The next stage of evolution was the flame and thunder lion. It had basic attribute level 48 out of 6, 2089 out of 3600 in strength, 3224 out of 3600 in agility, 2189 out of 3600 in intelligence, and a strong thunder attribute with a weakness to water. The soldier informed them golden lion was simply the weakest of the danger they would encounter in the trip. They hoped they did not really think easily past the military test. He shouted that those who did not have the courage to die on the battlefield should leave immediately. This was their last chance. He added that the army did not need cowards. Those men could not believe they were being sent to their death. They decided to leave. Many of them ran away, but no one felt nervous. But he stood his ground. He remembered what the vice president had told him, that the mission was extremely dangerous. However, the army had technology that could allow his sister to walk again. They asked him if he wanted to try. try, which is why he was determined to pass the army test. Then he saw Kelsa and asked her if she did not want to leave. She took it to mean that he doubted her ability, clarified that was not what he meant. He was just worried because her phantom beast had gone crazy last time, and if she participated in such intense training, she might develop hostility towards it. She responded that Jennifer was very obedient with her, so she did not have to worry. She then pointed out that no one had it worse than him. For those who stayed, the soldier understood that it had been decided, proceeded to explain the training plan for the upcoming day. He acknowledged they were all elites from the various Beast Tamer Association in the city that year. Therefore, he was sure he did not need to teach them much about commanding their own phantom beast. Actually, that was not for Wengen, because the strawberry cat resisted. The soldier told them he would teach them to coordinate better with each other to achieve the mission's objective. Currently, there are 12 people left, so they will form teams of 3, making a total of 4 groups. He told them that if they felt socially awkward, they could wait for him to assign their teammate. In the meantime, he gave them the freedom to form teams freely. People started to approach each other since most of them knew each other. Bonsuan did not know anyone there. 2 men approached Kelsa since they were missing a person and claimed they were strong enough to protect her, but she rudely rejected, saying she was not interested in their trash. That infuriated the man. He had his lightning rat teach the woman a lesson, but before he could do so, something moved at lightning speed and froze the lightning rat. The man worried about his rat while Janiford read aloud. He approached Wengen and told him that if he bowed his head and begged, she might consider teaming up. Hong still had not responded when someone approached him. It was a beautiful and elegant woman with black hair named Parki. She told him she wanted to team up. He blushed at the sight of her. He was puzzled because she had chosen. It was as if she had read his mind and explained that earlier, when the instructor soldier released the golden lion, he was one of the closest to the battle, but she saw no trace of fear on his face. Instead, he was, which made her think he would be a reliable teammate. He asked her if she minded that his phantom beast was the strawberry cat. That bothered our pink boy a little. Our protagonist knew she would laugh at him if she knew about the strawberry cat, but she replied that it did not matter. He reasoned that ghost beasts can evolve to become stronger. People cannot, and since he had been honest about his ghost beast, she wanted to show hers too. She ordered him to reveal his form. He named it Kalan. It was the radiant lizard number 56. Its attribute was light. It was at level 23 out of 6, and the next stage of evolution was the radiant light lizard. Its strength was 2,400 out of 3,600, agility 2,600 out of 3,600, intelligence 2,800 out of 3,600, and its strong attribute was light and weak against dark. Wenzin was surprised to discover it was a level 2 ghost beast. Seeing his reaction, she assumed he would say yes. Having a level 2 ghost beast as a teammate would definitely be a huge boost to his strength. He accepted her invitation, reached out his hand, but someone swatted it away. It was Kelsa. She was upset because he had ignored her when she was talking to him. He did not know how to react. I guess someone is jealous. Kel argues that he should not team up with someone of unknown origin like that woman. He asked her what she meant, since everyone came from various Beast Tamer Associations, but she insists that he should not. The soldier saw them and suggested 3 of them team up since they were close. Kelsa asked him what made him think everyone was nearby. The soldier knew he was right because he saw that his phantom beast was very fond of Wang. She was surprised to see Jord clinging to her leg. She reminded him not to get close to the enemy while they were watching. The soldier thought that involving children like this in the mission was dangerous. He wished they could enjoy moments while they could before entering the battle. In the meantime, at the hospital, the wreckage was continuously dripping while a man slowly regained consciousness. He looked back with a neck brace on and a hand amputated. He was disoriented about where he was. Someone saw him and asked if he was awake. Bissy entered the room with military personnel. They addressed him as Sergeant Lewin. The man responded, but to his surprise, no sound came out. She saw his reaction and told him to calm down. She explained that he had a lacerated throat and damaged vocal cords, so it would be very difficult for him to speak. She had questions for him, and he could respond by nodding or shaking his head. In the military conference room, he informed everyone about the ghost beast that had evolved to level 3 by continuously devouring human lives. He stated it needed to be eliminated before it evolved to level 3. Otherwise, the whole city would face a devastating crisis. Someone stood up and announced they would explain the army's operational plan. He shared the information he had gathered. The ghost beast's lair was a cave in the deepest part of the mountain range. They were supposed to attack the cave from the front, eliminating everything that obstructed their path and, finally, eliminating or capturing the phantom beast deep within the cave. The members of the Beast Tamers Association would help them block all the exits of the mountain range, ensuring that the phantom beast would not break through their perimeter. Making knew she was being blunt, pointed out the plan was riskier than a frontal attack. She was worried that those guys would actually do something that dangerous. The director responded that they had no other option. He made it clear that if the situation got out of control, he would have those kids pull back immediately. He assured her that as long as they subdued that phantom beast fire, the experience of the mission for those young beast tamers would not be any different from a spring outing. That moment, the soldiers stood in front of the kids and assumed everyone had reviewed the operational plan. He informed them that the phantom beast was a level 2 land beast, a giant rock worm. It was currently hiding in a cave, preparing to evolve to level 3. Once it successfully evolved to level 3, the whole city could be in danger, and for the sake of the city's population, they needed to succeed. Failure was not an option. Bizan asked Wenguin what she thought of her first mission. He was surprised that she was there. He asked her if she would also participate. She replied that it was natural for her to go with the army into the heart of the lair to suppress the phantom beast. She glanced sideways and whispered to him that he should not act harshly like he had during the qualification exam. She reminded him that they were on a battlefield, and that one wrong could mean life or death. Then she reminded him that if he found himself in a situation he could not handle, he should retreat immediately with the other. He nodded and responded. The entrance of the cave was unsettling. They approached cautiously. The frontline soldiers were the first, followed by Pixing. Then, a soldier noticed a distinctive smell. The cave emitted a stench. Bonds explained that although the giant worm was aggressive ground-type phantom beast. It was still a scavenger. The smell must have come from the corpses of the dead creature. Then, a soldier turned his head and to his surprise, saw a swarm of spiders. He shouted to fire. As the monsters were closing in, the front line fired relentlessly. A blazing fire swept through the monster. He made his phantom beast fire. The other beast tamers beside him also got ready. He ordered them to adjust the formation. He called the defensive phantom beast to the front to block the horde of beasts that was attacking. Everyone followed his order. The spiders jumped toward. One of the beast tamers ordered his phantom beast, the ice hound, to protect the vice president. The ice hound unleashed an extreme frost. The monsters in front of them froze, formed like a giant crystal in front of them. Bison hoped everything would turn out well. Meanwhile, went and found something surprising. They inspected a large purple crystal. Kelsa wondered if it was a paddle. She had never seen anything like it. Jay told them to be careful. He added that it was better not to touch anything that did not look natural. Wynn agreed with her, and besides that his mission was to keep watch. He felt something and immediately dragged Kelsa, telling her to run quick. The mineral began to glow intensely. It made the ground shake and then exploded. When the smoke dissipated, it revealed a large silhouette with horns. It was a brown bipedal lizard-like creature with horns. Hangen had no idea what was happening. It was the ghost beast that the army was hunting. I was confused because I was with them, and had obviously completed my evolution to become a level 3 ghost beast. It was called Abyssal Rock Dragon, a level 3 ghost beast of the earth type, and without giving them time to prepare, it used a stomp that shook the ground. When Subin told the girls to run because they would not be able to face it, they ran as fast as they could, but it roared loudly, making them stop and cover their ears. Kelsa complained that the roar was too ugly. He told Kelsa to be careful as he saw a spider approaching. Jennifer exhaled a freezing breath and froze it. She thanked him for saving her. Jill realized that the roar of the ghost beast was a call to its companion. This alarmed them, meaning it would not leave them alive. A horde of monsters approached stealth. Wing Swan called Strawberry Cat to defeat. She used the Mayo Fist skill and continuously struck the monsters. Even though those beasts were weak, there were too many of them. G knew his goal was not to hurt them, but to delay them until the big monster arrived. Kells urged Wenon to think of something. He knew that if things going this way, Janefren's energy would not last long. Wenson saw that the Abyss Rock Dragon was closed. He had no other choice. Meanwhile, the soldiers were facing a giant spider. They shot at it non-stop. It took all the bullets, but did not take much damage. It was known that they had to subdue that spiritual night spider. It was a defensive type ghost beast with almost no attack power, so as long as they defeated it, they could interrupt the ghost beast's evolution inside the cocoon. A beast tamer with a thorny flower. The ghost beast restrained the movement of the night spirit spider. The vines wrapped around the spider's limb, and then Bizones ordered them to attack its weak spot, the back. The beast tamer with the ice hound ordered it to attack the back with ice spike. The ice hound jumped and shot the ice spike into the spider's back. It was a perfect shot. The spirit spider fell. They celebrated having defeated it. Bison thought that as long as they dealt the ghost beast inside the cocoon, the mission would be over. She approached the cocoon, placed her hand on it, and a crack formed. The soldiers worried about her and told her to be careful. The cocoon opened from an internal force, but to her surprise, it was empty. It was impossible because they had not stopped along the way, so there had been no chance to escape. Suddenly, they heard a loud noise. She started running toward where it was coming from. She realized Ghost Beast knew they were coming in advance, so it made a fake cocoon to trick. It had left that one there a long time ago and went somewhere else to evolve. She ordered all the beast tamers to immediately go rescue the children who were in the path. Beasts escaped. She knew that the ghost beast had successfully evolved into an abyssal rock dragon. It was too dangerous, and they had to protect the children. She hoped nothing would happen to those kids. A loud noise was heard in the cave. The abyssal rock dragon whipped tail. Debris flew everywhere. The difference between its strength and that of Kelsey's ghost beast was obvious. Unless they hit him in his weak spot, they would not cause him any harm, although his level was only slightly different from that of the abyss rock dragon. The problem was that his beast was not offensive type. Kelsa reminded him that he had said he had something in mind. She asked him what they should do. He told them they needed to hit the crystal on his head. His core was his weak spot, and that was the only way to hurt. The next question was, how were they going to get there? He asked Jai if her light-type phantom beast create an illusion to confuse it, and she replied yes, but that the duration was very short. He grabbed the strawberry cat and started running while asking Kelsa to make him an ice path. She asked Janefren to do it. She breathed ice and formed the ice stair. When she reached the end of the path, she jumped very high and told Jay it was time. She asked Kalan to use an illusory light. His phantom beast jumped from his shoulder and released a bright light from its body. The abyss rock dragon was distracted by it, and that was their chance. He threw the strawberry cat at it so it could knock it down. The strawberry cat took its task seriously. The head of the abyss rock dragon and made the dragon roar in pain. The girls were happy to have hurt him, but that infuriated the abyss rock dragon, and that was not good. He launched a giant fireball. He was too close to Wengen. Cat Strawberry intervened, pushed him out of the way, and the cat Strawberry got caught in it, crashed against a rock. Bonuan immediately rushed to his side. The abyss rock dragon also approached them and was ready to strike. Kelsa got worried. G shouted at him to get away. He prepared himself, but unexpectedly the cat Strawberry blocked the attack. He felt confused by what was happening. The aura of the cat Strawberry had changed. It was terrifying. The system had warned him that he was going insane. He asked what was happening. The cat Strawberry grew long fur on his back. His body trembled as he pushed the abyss rock dragon's claw away. Then his body completely changed. Our boy is evolved. He landed on the ground and stared straight ahead. Then he lunged at the abyss rock dragon, punched him and left the abyss rock dragon stunned. He was also moving quick. It appeared near the tail, jumped on its back, and then punched it